Shall each man find a wife for his bosom, and each beast have his mate, and I be alone?
No, but
I yearn for a wife, father.
So first of all, I've seen the whole season of Creature Commandos, and it's such a fun show. I'm still re-binging it till my screeners give up. So I wanted to start with you. Like, you've been part of a lot of big franchises, including the comic book space. So what drew you to the DCU in the way James Gunn was pitching it to you?
I mean, it was the scripts themselves were really good. And also just sitting down with James and seeing his passion and enthusiasm and the way his mind works. I was just like, I just want to work with this guy. Him and Peter met me very, I was confused about the script. I didn't really see it initially when I read just the pilot. And I was like, do they want to take a meeting with me? And they immediately were like, yes, come meet us at the hotel. And to sit down and to hear the way they talked about crafting what they're doing. And James is just love for these characters. And he thinks it's one of the best things he's ever written. And I, so I really went back and dove into it, and I started to see it more. But, he has a sophisticated way of putting it all together in the action, the animation, where it's so much better than I even envisioned it. But I just wanted to work with that guy. I just think he's so smart and such a master at his craft.
One of the dynamics that I wasn't expecting to see was, Eric really having he really has a thing for Rick Flag Sr., which again I thought was so much fun seeing that on screen. What do you think? What is it about Rick that draws Eric to him out of all the characters that he's met so far in the show?
I mean, I think that, Frankenstein he wants to be a man. He wants to be a lover. He knows he's a cobbled together piece of whatever. He has tremendous, weird passions. And I think he sees in Grillo's character this very strong, capable, secure man who's attractive to women. He wants it. He wants to understand it and to own it, to have it. So I think there's this push-pull with resenting him and also wanting him to be a mentor.
Yeah, so it's basically a little dark, twisted version of Pinocchio wants to be a real boy, essentially for him.
Yes, very true. Yes, exactly. That's a good comparison.
Well, does Eric get to a point, do you think, even if it's beyond this season, does he get to a point where he starts to see what he's doing to Bride is wrong, or is he so blinded by love that he just thinks this is just natural, this is just how people are when they show affection for one another?
Yeah, I think he can't see anything other than his own desire. And I also think that it clouds the fact that he thinks that she'll be happiest with him as well. I think that he, it's that thing where it just colors. She doesn't understand yet how happy they can be. I think it's kind of a classic rom-com Romeo and Juliet idea that is horribly monstrous and wrong. And I think it sort of re-examines the rom-com idea through a lens of just insane, violent passion.
If Creature Commandos season 2 were to happen, which I'm hoping the powers to be will make it happen. Do you see yourself do you hope to see him more involved with other commandos this time around? We get a little taste throughout the season, but I'm kind of like, but I want to see how would he do with Weasel, how would he do with this character. So is that something you personally hope for as well?
Yeah, I mean, his function in the story for the first season is very interesting because he's not part of the team. Like, he's his own thing, and I love that. And then in terms of season 2, like all the interesting new pairings you could have with those characters. I mean, I love Dr. Phosphorus. I think that. And, G.I. Robot and Nina, the fish lady. And I mean, they're all so unique in their own ways. And it would be fun to interact with them because I think he would have such specific reactions to each of them. It's such a specific personal thing. We get to see a lot of his relationship with Frank, and it's so, it's so colorful because he is this big monstrous guy. But then, as you say, like there's all this emotional color to Frank. So what would it be like if he was hanging out with Nina or, Dr. Phosphorus? I mean, he could get into crazy intellectual discussions with Dr. Phosphorus about all kinds of stuff, or he could have a certain heartwarming affinity toward Nina, or, I mean, we could see all kinds of color. So it's exciting to see where it would go in season 2.
I don't know if you and James have had these conversations yet, but at some point we gotta see you in live action. We gotta see you outside the world animation with Frankenstein. So, do you have an idea in your mind already how you would play him? Again, this would be such a very different character for you to play, outside of other live action roles. So, how far have you thought about that?
I mean, there's nothing firm, or there's no script or anything. So you take it from that. But I do like the idea of, and you learn a lot. The fun thing about this back and forth process, a lot of times I have a lot of ownership, or I want a lot of ownership of my characters, but it's been kind of fun because we went in the booth, we acted the hell out of it. And then these animators come in and they show you all this new stuff where you're like, oh, he's on his back at this point, and he pulls him down, and he does this, he jumps back when he says this line, and you're like, oh, I wouldn't have done that. But that's cool. Like it's almost like you have another collaborator with you on the character. So it's fun to watch the series and think about him in a different way. I mean, I have a lot of my own ideas, but the dynamics of the animation itself gave me a lot of ideas as well. So yeah, I mean, it'd be super fun. We'll see what James comes up with and if there's room for him in the future. But I think within this universe, to see that monster running around will be fun.
Yeah, I mean, we know he's already announced a slate of projects already. Is there one, like, as a fan yourself, is there one that you're like, I would really like to show up in this one or in that one? Because there's a lot of things to choose from.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't. Maybe I haven't seen the slate. I've been pretty busy. I'm like finishing up a bunch of stuff here right now.
Yeah.
But I saw the Lanterns thing. That sounds really interesting. It's like that sounds really interesting, but I don't think he belongs in that one. So it's sort of a combination of like what I think he belongs in and what I would like. I'd have to look at it, I know he's not in Superman, so don't worry.
Okay. I would have killed to see him in Superman. That would have been a lot of fun.
Just on the streets, just like, oh, who's that?
Well, I know you, as you're entering one world of gods and monsters, I know you're finishing another one. So our readers would kill me if I didn't ask, like, how are things going for the final season?
It's good. I mean, it's been a very long push. We've been shooting for a long time, and it's big, really big. And we're getting to the end, and so we're getting into a lot of that meaty end stuff, which ties up a lot of these relationships and really, it really gives this very rich, satisfying meal, which I won't tell you whether it's happy or sad, what it is at the end of it, but it definitely will be satisfying. I mean, some of the stuff I've shot even this last week has been some of the most moving stuff of the show, and there's been a lot of moving stuff in this show. But I had a scene the other day that I was just like, wow, this is really resonates on such a deep level. And it resonates because we've been working together for 10 years, all of us. And we know each other so well. We know each other's strengths, weaknesses, what we love about each other, what we can't stand about each other. And these things all, are beautifully, we're in a place where we're comfortable enough to be able to allow each other this humanity. And it's, special. It's very special.
Well, massive congratulations to you on that, and also congrats on joining, this up and rising universe. I'm hoping to see you back sooner rather than later as Frankenstein. Again, I mean, we got to see how that soccer story ends at some point.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Take care of yourself and happy holidays.
All right, thanks, Andy. You too.
You failed! You failed! You made her for me! She is to love me!